So the news around the collapse of the historical Chinese tower recently has been very misleading. Reuters here, which is the source of the majority of the international news you're likely to consume, says the tower is almost 600 years old, having been constructed in 1375 during the Ming Dynasty. Well, I'd like to point out that 2025 minus 1375 is actually 650, which is a lot older than 600, but even ignoring that mistake, the tower, the red building that most audiences would assume is the building the headline was referring to, was actually constructed in 1995. Only the stone foundation is original. Previous to the reconstruction, which occurred over 100 years after the original's destruction, it would have looked something like this. This is something most Westerners I don't think really realize about historical Asian buildings. They're pretty much all new. There aren't really any ancient temples in East Asia left, and that's because they're made of wood, and wood really doesn't last very long, typically no longer than a couple of centuries. The famous Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest in Beijing, for example, one of the most famous historical buildings in China, was originally built in 1420 during the Ming Dynasty, but in its current iteration, it was only built in 1889, and its pillars, do you want to guess where the wood came from? Well, it came from America. It's Oregon fir. I suppose this is a sort of ship of Theseus sort of dilemma. These buildings are built to resemble the old ones, but are they genuinely old, or do they hold as much historical value as the Hogwarts castle in Universal Studios? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.